We're following breaking news. A cop killer is on the loose in Southern California. We have the coverage across the Southland as the manhunt continues.
And we'll bring you a recap from last night's candlelight memorial for the officer tragically killed in Riverside yesterday.
Welcome to Chapman News. I'm Trent Schlom.
And I'm Madeline Dodd. We start with an update of one of the biggest stories in Southern California history. Trent?
Yes, a massive manhunt is underway for Christopher Dorner, an ex-LAPD cop across Southern California this afternoon. The search began early Thursday morning after shootings of 3 Riverside County police officers. Dorner is also connected to a double homicide in Irvine that happened on Sunday night. Police are currently spread across the Southland looking for Dorner. Last night, officers went in Big Bear to door to find Dorner, who is on a rampage for police. Dorner wrote a several-page manifesto explicitly stating his opposition of the Los Angeles Police Department. Dorner, once again, is still at large. Police consider this man, Christopher Dorner, armed and very dangerous. If you see him, you are encouraged to call 911 immediately and do not approach him.
We'll put that graphic up on our Facebook page for you later. Dorner claims to have been unjustly fired by the Los Angeles Police Department almost 5 years ago. As he continues leading police through Southern California, we begin our team coverage with Wes Rapaport to update us on Christopher Dorner.
It appears like the suspect has a vendetta against anybody in uniform. So it's not just LAPD. Any officer that is in uniform has to approach this suspect with great concern because this guy has shown the propensity to shoot at anybody in a uniform.
A search that has police looking for a suspect who killed 3 involves departments across several counties. Southern California on high alert as former LAPD officer Christopher Dorner remains at large. Dorner allegedly murdered an Irvine couple Sunday night and killed a Riverside officer early Thursday morning.
The Los Angeles Police Department and our allied law enforcement agencies are implementing all measures possible to ensure the safety of our LAPD personnel, their families, and the Los Angeles community.
Police are searching throughout Southern California, spanning from Los Angeles to San Diego and as far east as Big Bear. As more questions arise, the Orange County community is looking for answers. Local police departments saying that folks are taking the right steps to ensure their safety.
Continue to call us with suspicious vehicles or persons that you believe may be related to this investigation. We will be happy to come out and check those out. You can remain anonymous. If you think you're encountering this individual, don't approach him. He's extremely dangerous. He's already shown a propensity for violence. Call the local authorities. Dial 911 from your phone.
We want the community to feel assured that we're providing information to them, but also to be vigilant and let them know that this is a very dangerous situation, and should they see this man, it's a 911 call.
Police officers protecting the public as always, but also themselves, as Dorner's manifesto specifically targets cops. In Irvine, Wes Rapaport, Chapman News.
Thank you, Wes. To watch Wes's full-length interview with Lieutenant Engen, visit facebook.com/Chapman News.
As the manhunt for suspected gunman Chris Dorner continues, the mourning for fallen officer began last night at Riverside City Hall. Adam Herbitz was there for an emotional gathering.
It's an outpouring of support for a man whose name we still don't know. Thursday morning, 2 Riverside PD officers on routine patrol stopped at a red light. The gunman pulled up, shot both, and killed one. Last night, that fallen officer, who police have yet to identify publicly, received a candlelight vigil. The other cop left injured, but eager to get back in the car.
I wanted him to know that the mayor was there and the city was behind him, and thankful for his service to our city, and looking forward to him and his recovery.
With no mention of Riverside in the suspected cop killer's manifesto, the question turns to why. And tonight, confusion is just one more element for a crowd crestfallen with emotion.
We don't have an answer for that. But the whole thing is saying, you know, we're here to support, we're all going through this together, we have a common bond, and that's how we grow closer together.
I'm still reacting to this and trying to process this, and Obviously, you can't understand this.
But with all the dangers surrounding this case, Riverside's mayor wants the rest of California to know that his city is safe.
The schools were open, and so I took my daughter to school in support of that. I'm not afraid, and that our schools are safe.
More religious figures like Paul were on hand to take the crowd into small groups and help start the healing. Reporting from Riverside, I'm Adam Herbets, Chapman News.
Riverside County officials ordered all flags to be flown at half-mast until February 14th.
And where this manhunt all began was with a double homicide in Irvine on Sunday. Leah Freeman has this tragic ending to a young love story. Leah?
She had such a big heart. It's like, why take her away from all of us? I mean, all of us are missing a piece of our hearts right now for her.
2 innocent lives lost early Sunday evening in Irvine. Monica Kwan and Keith Lawrence were found shot to death inside their white Kia near Jamboree Road. The vehicle parked on the top floor of their apartment garage had shown no clear evidence of robbery or other motives.
This man is holding a grudge. It's a revenge situation where he is angry with a man who he considers somewhat or fully responsible for his dismissal from his employment as an LAPD officer. And the act that he chose to carry out this revenge was the cold-blooded murder of that man's daughter and her fiancé.
Kwan and Lawrence's passing was not only heart-wrenching news to their immediate family, but a great loss to their loved ones in the Orange County community. Kwan was a second-year assistant coach to the women's basketball team at Cal State Fullerton.
Somebody whose passion was impacting young women through the game of basketball has been taken away from us.
The team and the staff are very, very saddened by what's happened and what we've learned.
Kwan's family, friends, and teammates joined together to honor the couple in a candlelight vigil on Monday. In Orange County, Leah Freeman, Chapman News.
The parents of the couple say they'll be buried together.
And now let's continue to take a deeper look inside this manhunt as we welcome an expert on police strategy.
Captain Joe Vargas served in the Anaheim Police Department for 30 years. He joins us now. Captain Vargas, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So let's start off with this online manifesto that Chris Dorner wrote. It's over 10 pages long. It's an obvious declaration of war for him. He uses the word asymmetrical warfare. Could you tell us what that means and if people and police should be concerned about this?
Well, what it comes down to is asymmetrical warfare is basically a term that means they're coming at you from a bunch of different directions. You know, whether it's covert, whether it's overt. But in this case, I think part of that asymmetrical warfare is that he's been proven he's going to attack the family members of police officers. As police officers, we're used to taking risk. That's what we go to work every day for. We're not used to the fact that our families may be endangered simply because of the job that we do.
Right.
Let's look at that situation in Torrance, though, because this is a situation where you have a man who isn't afraid to die, and he's already shot cops. You see, when police see the description of a vehicle matching the suspect's vehicle, they can't just open fire, but what are they supposed to do?
Well, let me tell you this. Police officers shoot for one reason only, and that's because they want to go home at night. At some point, that vehicle probably engaged in some behavior that made them feel at risk. I don't know if you've ever followed a newspaper delivery person, but they're going fast, slow, side to side, accelerate. If you're looking for somebody who is probably dangerous, they probably engaged in that behavior. I can't speculate as to what happened, but I can tell you this. The officers shot only because at some point they felt they were at risk.
Now, Dorner led police to Big Bear, where the search is continuing now today. We found, police found his truck on fire yesterday and footprints all around the truck leading nowhere. Hundreds of homes were checked last night. No sight of Dorner was there. But do you believe that this was a distraction to police? Could he be somewhere else, or do you believe the search needs to stay in Big Bear?
It's one of those things where you have to search the area. With an abundance of caution, you have to really make sure the people there are safe and secure. And the other part of it, yes, why light a vehicle on fire? It could be a distraction. And in this point, what they're going to do is they're going to cover all the bases. I'm sure they're going to continue the search in the area, but at the same time, they're not going to quit following up leads that come. And I believe that a bunch of leads are coming in from all over Southern California.
And beyond that, how do you decipher what is a lead that is something that could be useful versus what could be a hoax? We've seen a couple of leads so far already yesterday and today that have gone awry.
The Lexus this morning in Barstow.
What ends up happening is, as you say, you're getting a bunch of information and trying to filter through all the information. You know, one of the things that we've learned because of Homeland Security and dealing with terrorism is that any little bit of information could be vital. And hopefully at this point, they've developed a unified command where information is being filtered through one organization, probably the Terrorist Early Warning Group or something like that, where we're trying to cover all our bases. I can tell you this, just about every department that I know of is participating in one way or another following up on these leads.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the insight. I know this is a story that has so many different angles, and we'll continue to follow this as we get more information over the last couple weeks. But Captain Vargas, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as the manhunt continues for Christopher Dorner, families are still mourning from the tragedy in Newtown. The issue of gun control still a sensitive topic across the nation. We'll bring you the latest details on a proposed bill after this.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
With the forecast coming up. Nice. Oh! Run! Yes! Go! Yes! Yes! No! Come on! Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Thanks for staying with us. Again, I'm Trent Schlom.
And I'm Madeline Dodd. We have a rainy start to our weekend here. We've even heard some hail outside. Our very own Lynn Neuman is here to give us the latest weather breakdown.
Yeah, the hail crazy. I saw a picture of Wilson Field. We'll get that on the Facebook page. Absolutely crazy. But how much rain can we expect? I got to know if I'm supposed to trade in my cowboy boots for rain boots.
Hey, Trent and Maddie, I'm standing on top of Chapman Stadium, and although the view behind me might be beautiful, it is not the typical Southern California sunshine and warm weather that we are used to. Today is only a high of 58, but before we get to our weather, let's take a look at that national forecast. The East Coast will have highs in the low 30s to mid-40s with some rain and snow. Heading into the weekend, they'll be bracing for a potentially historic blizzard. It could bring anywhere from 6 inches to 2 feet of snow. As we head south, the temperatures heat up with highs in the 70s and 80s. I'm sure everyone is gearing up for Mardi Gras down there, and they've got the weather for it. Working our way across the states, the Midwest will experience some winds with temperatures in the mid-50s to 60s. The North has mostly cloudy skies and much cooler temperatures up there. Let's see that 5-day forecast. After today's chilly and rainy mess, the skies clear up for the next few days with highs in the upper 50s and 60s. Unfortunately, we might not hit 70 until late next week, but we gotta appreciate all this sunshine while our friends on the East Coast prepare for a wintry storm. So my advice for today is to grab an umbrella and some rain boots and stay mildly bundled up over the next few days, but get ready for that gorgeous California sunshine to return tomorrow. Reporting for Chapman News Weather, I'm Lynn Neuman. Back to you guys in the studio.
We got it. No cowboy boots, rain boots from here on out. Thank you, April. On Monday, a group of gay Vietnamese Americans and their supporters demonstrated in hopes that they will be allowed to participate in this weekend's Tet Parade in Little Saigon. Organizers suggested that they host their own parade that day, but not be a part of the annual event. The city traditionally puts on the event. This year, Westminster turned it over to a community coalition that includes the Vietnamese Interfaith Council in America. The council called for a boycott of the parade the past 3 years because of the gay group's participation. In the meantime, the LGBT group has a booth at the Tet Festival this weekend in Garden Grove.
Orange County lawmakers are pushing an assembly bill forward to create a school marshal program. In grades K through 12 schools, Annie Ackerman has the story.
Evoking the name of Vicky Soto, the teacher who was killed in the Sandy Hook Elementary School tragedy last month while using her body to shield her students, a group of Republican state lawmakers proposed a school marshals program to protect campuses from gunmen.
We have a moral obligation that the next Vicky Soto, who is faced with inexplicable evil, that she not be left defenseless.
Assembly Bill 202 states the establishment of the school marshal program and would authorize school districts to use general purpose funds to provide training to a school marshal who would be authorized to possess a firearm at school. Both K-12 and college campuses like Chapman University are at debate about gun control. Assembly Bill 202 is currently being proposed, and the biggest critique, can it be incorporated in the education budget?
Whatever additional funds we have, I definitely want to be used as instructional materials and teachers.
I don't think a trained marshal running at them with a firearm is going to cause them to just suddenly drop their gun and go, oh, sorry, just kidding.
Chapman's Chief Public Safety Officer, Randy Burba, thinks we do whatever it takes to protect the students.
I'm sure that the creative minds could come up with a little bit of extra funding to fund a trained person, an equipped person to be there to protect our kids. I mean, I just don't see how it's that large of a burden. It's a small percentage, I would think, in the grand scheme of things.
Republican Tim Donnelly wrote the bill in hopes of amending school security. Reporting for Chapman News, Annie Ackerman.
And a decision about the bill has not yet been made, but if the Assembly passes the bill, it still must go through the Senate.
Moving on, California State Supreme Court began hearing arguments Tuesday whether cities and counties have the right to ban medical marijuana dispensaries. In recent years, hundreds of dispensaries appeared in Orange County alone, with the largest concentration in Garden Grove. This issue has been a hot topic since 1996, then resurfaced again in 2003 when the California legislature approved a program that included providing medical marijuana users with identification cards. Opponents say that it's too easy to acquire a doctor's note for medical marijuana and complain that the dispensaries attract recreational users and increase crime. Supporters argue that the dispensaries service the patients who need the medication the most. A long-awaited decision is expected this spring.
Shares of In-N-Out are switching hands, but staying in the family. And the new owner is raking in the cash. Lindsay Torres is the granddaughter of In-N-Out's founders Harry and Esther Snyder. However, with no college degree and on her third marriage, some would say that Torres is not the best candidate to head the fast food corporation. In-N-Out has expanded to 280 fast food units since 1984, with sales of about $625 million last year alone. Torres is currently in control of half of the company, and within the next 5 years will gain the remainder. She has already owned a percentage of the chain, but as of her 30th birthday, she will inherit her father's share, making her America's youngest billionairess. The first In-N-Out opened in the late 1940s, about an hour from here in Baldwin Park.
The U.S. Postal Service made a major change in delivery this week from 6 days a week now to 5. Natasha Martinez has the story on how it will affect your neighborhood. Natasha?
Get ready to say goodbye to Saturday's mail. The U.S. Postal Service announced Wednesday its plans to move to a 5-day delivery week. This move will reportedly save the company $2 billion each year, some much-needed cash after last year's $16 billion loss. Carriers will stop delivering mail Saturdays, but they won't stop delivering packages, a growing revenue due to the boom of online shopping. Since switching online is the growing trend, will the Saturday cut even be missed?
Doesn't really affect me.
People are using email instead of snail mail. Therefore, we subsidize that excess, so I'm fine with them changing it.
The post office will stop their Saturday deliveries starting in August, costing over 2,000 employees their jobs. Reporting from Orange, I'm Natasha Martinez, Chapman News.
We apologize for that technical error. The Postal Service still awaits Congress's approval.
And coming up on Chapman News, Chapman celebrates a California icon. We're going to be live from Huell Howser's memorial celebration.
But first, we are joined by Wes. What can we look forward to from sports?
Well, Maddie and Trent, coming up in the sports, the Panthers hit the hardwood, both teams with major playoff implications on the line. Plus, professional bull riding is in town. Trent goes one-on-one with one of the world's top riders. All coming up on Chapman News.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
And welcome back to Chapman News. I'm Trent Schlom.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Madeline Dodd.
And we turn to sports now as we're joined by Sports Director Wes Rapaport.
Wes, a big week in basketball. Start us off.
Absolutely. Thanks, Maddie and Trent. The Chapman women's basketball team, they have been rolling as of late, winners of 5 straight heading into Thursday night against Pomona-Pitzer, and they could be sitting pretty for the SCIAC playoffs with a win over the Sage Hens. Coach Jew and the Panthers at the Hutton Sports Center looking for 6 in a row. Early on, Kimi Takaoka absolutely on fire. Hits the 3. She would make her first 5 3-point attempts in this game. Here's another. Then showing she has some mid-range game as well. Game high 22 points for her. Sage Hens play some D, and then they get this swat, but that's about it. Takaoka takes over, and as I mentioned, she finished the night with 22. Panthers win it by the final 64-49. After the game, Coach Jew already looking ahead to Saturday night.
This is going to be our 4th game in 9 days. So we've had 5, we're going to have 5 in 10 days. So I could tell we were a little bit tired today, plus with a whole day of school. And so we just got to bring energy. You know, we're going to play on adrenaline as much as we can.
As for the men, they're looking to avoid a 3-game skid. Taylor Hamasaki hits the J early here. Panthers up, but that would not last long. Sage Hens pass inside. Jake Kluwer puts it in. Pomona-Pitzer takes the lead. They wouldn't look back. Panthers can't get anything going. Michael Cohen here with the swat. Chapman trying to respond, but Nick Dragovich can't get it to fall. Justin Young tries to provide the spark, but too little too late. Brendan Ryder slips here on this play, and that sums up the Panthers' night. They lose their 3rd straight, 51-44. And Orange County is going country, at least for one weekend. The professional bull riders circuit is in town at the Honda Center starting tonight. Yesterday, Trent Schlom visited with J.B. Mooney, the #3 rider in the world.
With me now is J.B. Mooney, one of the top riders in the Build Forward Tough professional bull rider circuit. He's with me today, and J.B., you're going to demonstrate some of the stuff because the Orange County folks, they don't know bull riding, and so teach me a little bit. You got the rope in your hand. What's this all about?
This is the bull rope here. Basically, strap this to the bull. You got a loop right here. Put it on the bull. That part of your rope runs through there, comes up the side of the bull. Some guys like a tight rope. Some guys like it loose.
You look in full control, but you're on one of these behemoths of animals that are charging at you, doing all kinds of stuff. What's it like being on that bull?
You know, it's an adrenaline rush, especially if you ride good, you make a good ride, and you get off, and that crowd's a hooping and a hollering, all your buddies are cheering for you. I mean, you feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I have a hard time. My motor don't get to running real as hard as it needs to be, you know. If I know a bull's just going to spin and just be mediocre bull, get me fired up. That's why I always pick the bulls that the ones nobody wants, because, if I was worried about getting hurt, I probably wouldn't ride bulls.
Now, tell me about what you're thinking of being here in Orange County and what's it like in this environment.
Oh, it's fun. Anytime you can go a place where people haven't seen it and they come and watch it, that builds your fan base, Because I've met a lot of people that never even heard of bull riding or ever seen it, but just come to an event that was in their town and love it, and are diehard fans now because it's a guy versus an animal. I mean, it don't get much better than that. But anytime you can go to a place like this to try to build your fan base, it's great.
Fantastic. JB, thank you so much for the time. Good luck this weekend. JB Mooney of the Build Forward Tough Professional Bull Riding Series.
JB Mooney looks for his first win of the season tonight. The three-day event starts at 8 p.m. This is their 16th consecutive year in Anaheim, and the PBR tells us that this could likely be their first sellout at Honda Center. And let's take a look at what is ahead for the Panthers. 2 o'clock this afternoon, the Panther baseball team looks to get back to 500 at Cal State San Marcos, and a doubleheader for the softball team against Pacific in Oregon starting at 4 o'clock. Then a big day Saturday across the board, but all eyes on the basketball court. The women's team hosts Whittier at 5, then the men get a crack at the Poets at 7. Arguably the most important game of the season. Plus swimming, diving, more softball, a bunch of lacrosse. Richard Bye is going to be conflicted. So are all of the other Panther diehards. A lot of sports this weekend. And Trent, PPR looked fun.
It was. I'm looking forward to going tonight. JB was fantastic. Good to see you're having fun too, and maybe getting over that loss on Sunday. I know the Niners losing kind of hurt you a little bit.
My Niners did not get it done. I'm okay with that. They didn't show up in the first half. What are you going to do?
All right, but we do want to give our congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens and our friend of Chapman News, rookie Asa Jackson.
All right, well, thank you, Wes. And Taylor is up next with entertainment. What you got for us?
Coming up in entertainment, head Imagineer at Disneyland Tony Baxter steps down after 47 years. And the Grammys are this weekend. Find out who's performing after the break.
Nice job.
That was solid. To a canvas takes vision. So we're getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
Welcome back to Chapman News. I'm Trent Schlom.
And I'm Madeline Dodd. Lots happening in and around entertainment world. Taylor, tell us some more.
Thanks, guys. That's right. There's so much going on in entertainment this week in Orange County and the Chapman community. Looking for some special Valentine's Day plans? Don't worry, because Chapman's theater department has you covered. Next Thursday is the premiere of Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare in the Waltmar Theater. The colorful play is a comedy about a cross-dressing, shipwreck-surviving, poetry-loving girl who finds herself in the center of a not-so-average love triangle. Student tickets are available online for just $15, while general admission is only $20. Nirvana, Cheap Trick, Fleetwood Mac, and Slipknot all recorded there. And our Zach Coomer takes a look at the legendary recording studio that launched the careers of countless famous musicians, Sound City.
It's an exciting night here at the Cinerama Dome. Stars like the Foo Fighters, members of Nirvana, and Stevie Nicks all have come out to support a new documentary about a legendary recording studio, Sound City. I'm Zach Coomer. Let's jam. Imagine the bands Nirvana, Fleetwood Mac, and Slipknot all in one movie. Even better, all those groups performing together. Former Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl delivers an inside look into the recording studio they all shared.
I just crossed my fingers and hoped that they would. Stevie Nicks and Neil Young and Tom Petty. These are people that I don't hang out with every day.
In 1971, I started recording there because Lindsay and I moved, and we moved in with Keith Olsen, and then we worked at Sound City. You know, whenever there wasn't somebody working there, Keith would take us there, and we could get in for free, you know, then get free studio time.
America's greatest unsung recording studio housed a one-of-a-kind console, and its legend grew. Soon groups like Joan Jett and Rick Springfield were recording there.
We know a lot of the same people, So you almost knew each other for years, but then finally we had an opportunity to play a concert. We did Isle of Wight a couple years ago, the festival.
There was definitely something going on. It's a magic hole that kind of pulled some great music in.
For Chapman News, I'm Zach Coomer.
Sound City is now closed for commercial recording. However, the magical soundboard that captured the Nirvana album, Nevermind, and many other hits has been bought by Dave Grohl and is now used at his personal studio. And speaking of magic, once an ice cream scooper at Disneyland during the 1960s, Tony Baxter has gone on to be one of the most respected and powerful Imagineers in the Walt Disney Company. Baxter is responsible for the creation of some of the park's biggest rides, including Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Star Tours. 47 years after his first scoop at the Main Street Ice Cream Parlor, Baxter has announced that he is stepping down from overseeing Disneyland attractions. Baxter says in a statement, "It has been a wondrous 47 years. The Imagineers." Baxter will continue offering his services with the Walt Disney Company. And this Sunday, February 10th, is the 55th Annual Grammy Awards. The show will air on CBS at 8 p.m. The most popular night in music will once again be hosted by the naturally cool LL Cool J, with special performances by Taylor Swift, Nas, the Lumineers, and many more. And if you're looking for a reason to celebrate tonight, the University Program Board is partnering with Greek Life to host Panther Night's Mardi Gras. Tonight at 10 p.m., the Student Union will become New Orleans with free food and dancing. Bourbon Street-themed music will be provided by a live jazz band and Chapman Radio. If that doesn't sell it for you, there will be a fully stocked bar for those 21 and over. For more information, go to the Facebook event page. So, Maddie and Trent, am I going to see you guys cutting loose on the dance floor?
Yeah, certainly looks like a lot of fun. We now take a moment to remember one of California's finest, Huell Howser, a friend of Chapman, a friend of our program, and a friend of this state.
It's a wonderful experience you're getting ready to have. It's a wonderful journey. This is truly a convocation. It is the beginning of something that you're going to look back on and remember for the rest of your lives.
Chapman University lost dear teacher, friend, and television legend Huell Howser January 6th to his fight with prostate cancer.
You know, when you think about your legacy and you think about what you want to leave behind, it couldn't be better than this.
Huell's passion for learning and living each day to the fullest showed in his long-standing television series, California's Gold. And thanks to Huell's generous donation of all 900 episodes to Chapman, his legacy will continue to educate students and anyone who wishes to visit.
Here is Stan himself, who's an old friend of mine, but Stan, officially introduce yourself to everybody.
In his last year with Chapman, Huell not only entrusted his life's work to the university, but began the California's Gold Scholarship Fund, which will carry on Huell's strong belief in education.
With people like you who are looking out for the future of this place, all of this together make Chapman University a fine example of California's gold.
Huell's Memorial will take place today at 2 p.m. in the Atala Piazza. All are welcome to stop by and pay tribute to Huell's incredible contribution to Chapman University and the beautiful Golden State of California. If you can't make the ceremony, Chapman does invite you to visit HuellHowserArchive.com to leave your thoughts and memories on the Huell Howser Memorial page. Jessica Deutschman is currently at the memorial right now as organizers prepare for the big event. Jessica, tell us, what's it like over there?
I'm here inside Leatherby Libraries, where obviously people are starting to pour in. Some of the memorials set up inside. As you can see behind me, there's a beautiful display. There's a number of them in here, and I'm very honored to be standing next to Cheryl Bourgeois, who's really the woman behind this entire event. Cheryl, can you tell me what makes today so special for you?
Well, it's an opportunity for us to really celebrate California's gold. We were so honored when Huell decided to leave his artifacts and his 2,000 episodes of California's Gold and all of his papers, all of those mementos to Chapman. And we had intended to do this public launch when he was still with us. Fortunately, he can't be here with us today to experience this, but we're thrilled that we get to bring together people from the community.
Absolutely. Can you tell me, share one memory that you have with Huell?
Well, not too long before he passed away, we visited the Volcano House, one of the properties that he donated to the university. And we went out there, and he was able to see that the university was restoring the facility. And it was a very casual, very laid back afternoon. And he was just thrilled with everything that was going on. So it was really just kind of a private moment. And he was just so thrilled with everything that was going on.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl. I'm Jessica Deutschman, and this is Chapman News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Jessica. Definitely a sad loss for our community. Be sure to visit chapmannews.tv for more information.
And make sure you follow us on Facebook.com/Chapman News and Twitter @Chapman News to see all of our headlines and breaking news.
Thanks for watching. I'm Trent Schlom.
And I'm Madeline Dodd. Have a great weekend.